The summer transfer window of 2023 has officially come to a close, and boy did Arsenal make some moves. A lot of these moves were simply just cutting out players that weren't needed in the squad, and we brought in some world-class talent in aims to help us push for the Premier League title and maybe make a deep run in the UEFA Champions League. In today's video, we are going to be discussing the transfer window we had. So what's going on, everyone? You're listening to Gunnar Sanctuary here. I hope you're all doing well. If you would like to see some more Arsenal content throughout the season, then be sure to subscribe so you don't miss an upload, and let's get into this. So the first bit of business for the window was extending players that we wanted to keep here long term. It's a very overlooked move by the team, but a lot of us fans, we try to look at the new signings, but these contract extensions that you get for crucial players are so important. We signed players like Saliba, Saka, Martinelli, Gabriel, Reece Nelson and Ramsdale. All of them were extended, very, very crucial for the building blocks of this team. Excellent from Arsenal to keep hold of this core. All are young and are just all so talented, and they all bring something to the squad. Very, very good business. I'm very happy with all that. It's much better than, if you guys remember when we had the Wenger times, it almost seemed impossible to extend our best players. That would let them run down to maybe a year and we'd have to sell them on the cheap. Sanchez is a perfect example of that. So it's very positive that we were able to do this. Now, going into the transfers, we were quite impressive. Again, very different to the Wenger days. We spent a lot of money. We got some world-class talent, and the best part is we did it very early in the window, unlike the Wenger days where we left it all till deadline day. The first signing, we signed Havertz for £65 million. Or it's actually 67.5, but I just rounded it down just to make it sound a little bit better. Now, as good as Kai is, we must admit that this is quite a bit of a gamble transfer. He had some really good moments in Chelsea, but equally had some really bad moments. I have released a video on my channel on why I believe Kai Havertz will come good for Arsenal and why I believe he will be worth the fee for the team. Despite what most people think, I'm actually not a Kai Havertz hater. I would love to see him succeed for Arsenal. But for now, I'm going to rate this transfer out of 10. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10 for now. It could easily be a 4 next season, or it could be a 10. We just don't know. Hopefully, he can prove that he's worth the money and he's an excellent player. Another signing we made, obviously my favorite signing of the window, I think everyone's favorite signing of the window, Declan Rice. Boy, is he a special player. We paid £105 million for Declan. People were saying it's too much to pay for him, and a lot of them were Arsenal fans saying that. But let's be honest, of the little we've seen from him play for the club, he looks so good. It looks like an absolute awesome piece of business from the team. This signing is also quite significant, not only for the fact of us getting a world-class CDM, which is Declan obviously, but I think more what it signifies for the club. Declan Rice rejected huge clubs like Bayern and competitors Man City, and he only had his heart set on playing for Arsenal. It kind of signifies that the growth of the club has had, and how players are preferring us over destinations like Man City, who just came off winning the treble. I give this transfer an 8 out of 10. It genuinely could be a 10 out of 10 in 2 years time, in a year's time. But for now, I want to play it a little bit safe. I've given it 8 out of 10, but boy, I love watching Declan play for us. Another signing that I must admit I kind of looked over, especially with the fact of Declan Rice right on the horizon, is the signing of Jurrien Timber from Ajax for a fee of around £38 million. Now, obviously, he suffered that really unfortunate injury in our first game against Forest that has essentially ruled him out for the season, but before the injury, he just looked so good for us. He is so good on the ball. If he can come back from the injury as the same player or even better, then we're going to have some serious problems on our hands, and good problems at that. He is a serious player, and you can consider him a steal if he can come back and play to that level. He is definitely going to be a steal if he can do that. Hopefully he has a speedy recovery and is back in no time. But with everything being considered, I'm going to give this transfer a 7 out of 10. Had he stayed fit, or even in a year's time, we could be looking at an 8 or 9 easily for Jurrien Timber. Another signing which we made is a loan signing. for right now, but it's probably going to be a permanent at the end of the season for £27 million. It's David Raya from Brentford. I must admit, at the time, I really didn't understand why Arsenal would pursue a keeper when we had a perfectly good starting keeper in Aaron Ramsdale, and Turner seemed a capable backup. Now, I did make a video covering this topic, so I'm not going to go into too much depth right now, but basically it's just a really good move by Arsenal. I think we have two really high-level goalkeepers, which should just make the performances of the keepers and the team as a whole, should just bring it up a whole nother level. I'm going to rate this a good 7 out of 10 for now. So far for incoming, that's as far as incomings go. I'm very happy with our moves. We did spend a lot of money, but we brought in tons of quality that is only going to improve the levels of the squad in the long run. Now, as far as outgoings go, we loaned out the 20-year-old Brazilian in Marquinhos to Ligue 1 side FC Nantes, which I'm very happy with. It should give him some much needed experience. Hopefully he can develop nicely over there. We also loaned out Charlie Patino to Swansea for kind of the same reason, just to gain more experience and become a better player overall. Another loan we did, which is quite head scratching, is the loan of Kieran Tierney to Real Sociedad on a season-long loan. There's no option to buy. We are getting such a small loan fee. I mean, his wages will be covered, but it's just a bit of a head scratcher. The only reason I think Arsenal are doing this is just to get Tierney's transfer value higher so we could potentially sell him next season. I mean, we are hoping he has a good and injury-free season so that when he comes back to Arsenal, we can sell him for higher than if we had to sell him right now. I don't know that there's any other reason. I think that's about that. That's the only thing that makes sense to me, especially with the Timber injury. So, yeah, another loan is that of Alex Runnison to Cardiff on a season-long loan. I don't really have much to say about this. It's just a pretty much meh loan. Hopefully he performs well so we can sell him when he comes back next season, but I don't want to see Runnison playing for Arsenal, to be honest with you. Nuno Tavares has been loaned out to fellow Premier League side in Nottingham Forest. Arsenal are going to receive a loan fee of around £2 million for the loan, and there is a £12 million buy option in the deal. So we've probably seen the last of Nuno for Arsenal. It's quite sad, but I mean, the £12 million option is quite low for me. But at this point, Nuno isn't going to make the team, so it's just another bit of business that needed to be done by Arsenal to clear out the squad. We then also loaned out Lokonga to Luton Town. Kind of also just a meh loan. Hopefully Lokonga can perform well in a bad team that is Luton Town. And I don't know, probably sell him next season. I don't see him ever making it ready for Arsenal. We also released our academy product, Maitland-Niles, and he has since signed with Lyon in France. This transfer is kind of sad. He played so well when Arteta arrived. He had amazing games at right back for us. We wanted him to be our starter right back. The problem with this though was that he didn't want to play right back, and he insisted he was a good midfielder. He wanted to play midfield. He didn't want to play right back. So we loaned him out to Southampton to prove that he's a midfielder, and he just didn't look good. They even played him a right back at Southampton and he didn't look good. Southampton obviously got relegated. So Arsenal just cut their losses and released him, and we didn't make any money off it, but like I said, it's just clearing off the dead wood in the squad. Now on to sales. We sold ex-captain and fan favourite Granit Xhaka for €15 million. He wanted to leave and we still got some money for him. Not bad from Arsenal. I am going to miss him. I'm going to miss him a lot, to be fair. I hope he flourishes there in Germany with Bayer Leverkusen and flies our flag high. I rate this sale out of 10. I rated an 8 out of 10. It might be too high for some people, but I mean, he wanted to leave. We got a decent amount of money for him and we got some good replacements for him. So I think an 8 out of 10 is fair. Another sale we did was Austin Trusty to Sheffield United for €6 million. As decent of a centre-back Austin Trusty is, he just isn't Arsenal quality. I don't think he was going to get enough game time to even be worth a spot in the squad. I don't think he's ever going to be able to reach the potential to be able to represent Arsenal at the highest of levels. He's a good centre-back, but I just don't think it was ever going to work out. I rated a standard 6 out of 10, not much to it. Another centre-back sold was Pablo Mari. Pablo is joining Italian club Monza on a permanent deal for 5 million euros. Again, similar to Trusty, decent centre-back at times, but yeah, just not good enough. Also rating that a 6 out of 10. Next departure is Matt Turner. Now, this one did take me by surprise, as I said earlier, being that, he only recently signed for us, and yeah, but looking back at it now, it was perfect timing to sell him. It allowed us to improve our backup keeper position by acquiring Raya in his spot, and we also fetched a tidy 8 million euros for Turner, which isn't a bad piece of business. I rate this an 8 out of 10 actually. We got a replacement which is better than him, and we profit on Matt Turner. So very, very happy with that move. Now moving on to the sale that had the Arsenal fan base somewhat split. It's a sale of the academy product, Hell End graduate Florian Balogun, for around 40 million euros, including the add-ons. I think the base transfer fee is around 30 million, so it's quite a lot of add-ons. Now it does include a sell-on clause, very minimal, but it is a sell-on clause nonetheless. And we sold him to the French outfit AS Monaco. Now I've already covered this in another video as well, but I get it. Nketiah is a more proven Premier League striker. Now, not to say that Balogun can't play up to Nketiah's level or even surpass it, but I think Arteta prefers the safe play here. Also, not to mention that we could get more money if we sold Balogun in the market than we probably could if we had sold Nketiah, so I do get the move. I rated a 7 out of 10 here. Probably should have tried to get more maybe, but yeah, overall 7 out of 10, not a bad move. Rob Holding goes to Palace for a rumoured £4 million. Yeah, he was a very good servant for the team, but he just didn't have a spot in this team at this present moment. I will miss Rob and his fake hairline, of course I'm going to miss that as well, but I hope he smashes it for Palace. I rated it just a 6 out of 10 move. Yeah, those are all the moves for now. Now, Pepe might be going to Besiktas, and there might be other small moves to Saudi Arabian teams or Turkish teams because their windows are still open, but the English window is closed, so that's basically all we do in this window. But as for right now, nothing's confirmed with the Pepe move, so I'm not going to talk about that. Overall, I think I'm going to rate the window a 7 out of 10. We got some elite players, and we got rid of some deadwood here and there. If Timber stayed fit, we probably could have been looking at an 8 out of 10. But I think a 7 out of 10 is quite fitting. But I would love to know how you guys score the window and what you make of my ratings. What ratings would you change? And I'll see you guys in the next one.